Hey guys, welcome to another episode of my video series where I will be going over, hopefully, every single class and their engravings and giving them all an average rating out of 5 based on a couple criteria. These criteria are accessibility, cost, ease of play, damage, utility, fun, and popularity. At the end of the video, I will give an overall score to the class based on all of these criteria so that you can make a decision on whether or not this class is for you. And given that fun and popularity are a bit subjective in terms of its value, I will give one overall score that includes them and one that doesn't. The class that I want to cover today is the Pinnacle Glaivier. And while this class has received quite a few nerfs over the last couple patches, it still remains as one of the strongest classes in the game. Additionally, at the time of recording this video, Glaivier is the only class in the game with the damage on crit hit synergy, making it one of the most sought out classes in the game when it comes to min-maxing damage on raids. So if you're looking for an extremely flexible and valuable class in any type of content, this class might be for you. Now, the first criteria is accessibility, which is basically how accessible is the class to new players. There are 3 things that go into this category: skill points, runes, and a small portion about cooldown gems. Looking at the skill points, the Pinnacle Glaivier will definitely require a high number of skill points to make the class operate near its full potential. Given that the class has 2 stances and has quite a few damage skills, all 420 skill points will be required to make all of its main damage skills level 12, in addition to having enough skill points to put into its utility skills as well. Having said that, while some of your blue skills like Raging Dragon Slash and Half Moon Slash do contribute to a fair bit of your damage pie, the majority of your damage does come from your 3 red skills: Red Dragonhorn, Starfall Pounce, and Thrust of Destruction. So having only 384 skill points wouldn't exactly be the end of the world for this class. When it comes to the runes for this class, the Pinnacle Glaivier has a fairly low barrier to entry. While it is a specialization based class, it surprisingly doesn't use any wealth runes. The biggest hurdle for this class will be the legendary Galewind runes and the legendary Quick Recharge rune. And while the legendary versions of the runes will be best in slot, if you're a beginner looking to play this class, you can definitely make do with lower rarity runes. Lastly, when it comes to gems, this class does not require any significant level of cooldown gems to make it operate smoothly. Like Night's Edge Soul Eater, there will always be some level of downtime and waiting for skills to come up when it comes to rotations, and the higher level cooldown gems only serve to decrease that downtime slightly. So I would say that level 7 gems are going to be plenty enough for this class to feel good to play, and those should be fairly easily accessible for any character going through the Super Makoko Express. So overall, I would give Pinnacle Glaivier a 4 out of 5 for accessibility, with 5 being the most accessible class in the game and 0 being the least accessible class in the game. This class is fairly new player friendly. While it does require a fair bit of skill points to get close to reaching the class's maximum potential, it does not require any wealth runes, nor does it require any form of high level cooldown gems to make it feel good to play. When it comes to the cost of a class, we want to look at 2 things: the cost of their accessories and the cost of their gems. In the accessory department, the Pinnacle Glaivier unfortunately is not quite the friendliest to players on a budget. Given that it is a specialization class, that immediately brings up the cost of its accessories. But there is a saving grace in that it does not have any specific specialization breakpoints, meaning that the only thing you're really missing out on when running low quality accessories is the damage. This wasn't always the case though, as the buff that you get from the Pinnacle engraving used to scale off of your specialization. But the recent rework that the Glaivier class received got rid of that concept, and as a result has made this class a bit more accessible to players who are not able to afford the highest quality accessories. When it comes to gems, Pinnacle Glaivier is neither the most expensive nor the least expensive class out there. It isn't quite like Deadeye with 7 damage gems, but it's also not a class like Striker either, that uses 3 damage gems. The Pinnacle Glaivier uses 6 damage gems, which isn't the best but also not the worst in terms of cost. So all in all, I would give Pinnacle Glaivier a 3 out of 5 for cost, with 5 being the cheapest class in the game and 0 being the most expensive class in the game. The Pinnacle Glaivier is definitely not the cheapest class out there because it relies heavily on the specialization stat, but it's also definitely not the most expensive class either. This also stands true when it comes to its damage gems. So all in all, this class will likely be fairly comfortable for any player to step into. but you may have to deal with having a lower specialization class if you are a new player looking to pick up this class. The next category is ease of play. Basically, how easy or hard is this class to play? When it comes to the Pinnacle Glaivier, this class, much like how it has been rated so far in the other categories, is around the middle of the pack. It's neither the easiest class to play, nor is it the hardest class to play either. To start, Pinnacle Glaivier is at the end of the day a back attacking class, which already adds a layer of difficulty that other Hitmaster classes don't have to deal with. Additionally, the Glaivier is a class with two stances, with each of them having its own set of skills. While these stances aren't quite as difficult to juggle compared to the likes of the three guns of the Gunslinger and Deadeye, having to switch between the two stances and also keeping track of your meter when you switch between them has a big hurdle that other classes don't have to deal with. One other area of challenge is the fact that Pinnacle Glaivier's main damage skills all revolve around the 6-second crit chance buff window that Shackling Blue Dragon provides. If you're a Berserker player, you definitely know about this given your Red Dust window. And this is very much similar with the Glaivier. You see, when landing Shackling Blue Dragon, it gives you a 6-second window where you need to land two of your main damage skills, Red Dragonhorn and Starfall Pounce. While this does not sound like a challenge on the surface, Red Dragonhorn is a skill that requires you to charge it up and release the skill in a perfect zone. Additionally, Starfall Pounce is a 2-hit skill where half of its damage is distributed to each of the hits. Having to land both of these hits on the boss's back within the 6-second window is not quite rocket science, but it is something that even the most experienced Pinnacle Glaiviers can struggle with to this day. But where the Pinnacle Glaivier makes up for some of these hurdles is the fact that it's a mid-range class. So unlike other melee entry classes that have to go right up to a boss's ass to do any form of real damage, Glaivier can use its mixture of mid to long range skills to keep its damage uptime high even when the boss is throwing out a flurry of attacks near its body. So overall, I would give Pinnacle Glaivier a 3 out of 5 for ease of play, with 5 being the easiest class to play and 0 being the hardest class to play. While it isn't the hardest class to play out there are a few quirks to this class that anybody picking it up will have to learn how to navigate around in order to play the class to its highest potential. But the fact that the Glaivier is a mid to long range class makes it a bit easier to pilot compared to some of its other close range entry class relatives. When it comes to the damage of the Pinnacle Glaivier, it is definitely one of the stronger classes in the game. While it has received quite a few nerfs since its original rework, this class is still one of the most consistent and high damaging classes in the game. It's definitely a testament to how strong this class was originally when it received its buff a few months ago. So because of that, I would give this class a 4 out of 5 in the damage category, with 5 being the strongest class in the game and 0 being the weakest class in the game. As for utility, I would say that this is where the Pinnacle Glaivier shines. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, the Glaivier is the only class in the game that gives the damage on crit hit buff, making it extremely valuable and is highly desired in every single raid situation. Additionally, Glaivier is no slouch when it comes to stagger and destruction either. It boasts a wide variety of skills that provide a high level of contribution to the mechanics of any boss. Oh yeah, did I mention that the Pinnacle Glaivier also has 2 counters in addition to parry as well? So all in all, I would give this class a 4.5 out of 5 when it comes to utility, with 5 being the best utility and 0 being the worst utility. The Pinnacle Glaivier is definitely one of the most versatile classes in the game, and its contribution to the party can definitely be felt throughout the entire raid. This class definitely has an extremely loaded kit when it comes to utility, only being beat by that of the supports and the Gunlancer class. Now, how fun a class is will definitely be subjective, so please take this category with a grain of salt. But personally, I think that the Pinnacle Glaivier is a pretty fun class in the game. Given its wide range of skills, it's definitely a class that allows its pilot to show off their own personal flair and creativity in the game. Additionally, I personally love any class with a parry, so that in itself will already give this class a few additional points. But there were a lot of people who made Glaivier originally because it was a Hitmaster class, so many people, including myself, did find this class less enjoyable when it received its most recent rework. So overall, I would give this class a 3.5 out of 5 in the fun category, with 5 being the most fun class in the game and 0 being the least fun class in the game. The last category is popularity, and like the fun category, how much you value popularity definitely varies from person to person. But the fact is that the more popular a class is, the easier it is to purchase accessories. So on paper, a class that's more popular will be more enjoyable to play than a class that's less popular. With that out of the way, it's actually quite surprising, but in Korea, the Glaivier class is not extremely popular. Out of all of the 1600 plus item level characters in Korea, only 4.36% of them are Glaiviers, putting it at rank 12 out of the 26 classes in the game. This is quite surprising considering the massive utility and damage that they provide to the party, but perhaps this may be attributed to the fact that this class only recently received a rework and has been nerfed several times since that rework. Additionally, I believe that this number is likely to be higher in the West, as I definitely encounter quite a few Glaiviers in my day-to-day experience. So overall, I would give Pinnacle Glaivier a 3 out of 5 in the popularity category, with 5 being the most popular class and 0 being the least popular class. So overall, taking the stats that we've covered, the Pinnacle Glaivier has a 4.5 in accessibility, a 3 in cost, a 3 in ease of play, a 4 in damage, a 4.5 in utility, a 3.5 in fun, and a 3 in popularity. All of this rounds out to an overall score of 3.5 out of 5. And if you take out fun and popularity, this class will be rated a 4 out of 5. The Pinnacle Glaivier is an extremely powerful and versatile class that everybody would be ecstatic to have in their raid group. Providing the game's only damage on crit hit synergy, a wide array of stagger and destruction skills, and very respectable damage, in many ways, the Glaivier can be considered a jack of all trades. Because of that, I really wouldn't say there are any weaknesses to this class, but it does require quite a few skill points to make this class work well. So I wouldn't exactly recommend it to a brand new player, but anybody who has invested at least a little bit of time into the game should check this class out if they're looking for an extremely versatile and valuable new character to play. So that wraps it up. Hopefully this video helped you learn a little bit more about the Pinnacle Glaivier class and helped you decide whether or not this is a class that you should pick up yourself for the next Super Mokoko Express. Let me know down in the comment section what you think about the Pinnacle Glaivier. I'd love to know your opinions. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit the like button, hit the sub button, ring the bell for notifications, and also, I stream every single night on twitch.tv/misoxjiru starting at 10 p.m. PST. So hopefully I'll see y'all on my stream, but if not, hopefully I'll see you guys on the next video. Alright guys, peace out.